We're headed straight into game number 5 here. It was Team Sentinels who were able to win game number 4 and take the lead above TSM, who have now dropped down to third place with 42 points. With 2 games left to go, though, this is still anyone's game. A lot of teams are still in the running here. Our Cooler, who are currently in 17th place with 14 points, these 50-50s, as they do take the fight up against No Coco Puffs' squad right now. Ace has already gone down, but Yuki has been thirsted as well. Good damage coming up from Nasty as he goes for these peaks, but oh no, he was caught in that cocking animation. And he's going to go ahead and throw down that drone. Oh, Dell tried to help him out, but Lyric will be able to finish him off. And finally, it's going to be No Coco Puffs getting the 50-50 win here down in Lava City.
Hey, no go Puffs, you found your landing spot. Just kidding. You're still gonna have to fight him next game. Nice job though. And throughout all of this, you also still have the 50-50 that's happening over towards the epicenter side. Don't forget Nestle Pure Life duking it out with Team Razor. I believe I saw Hakulo get a knock onto E-Boy Ronnie, so they're gonna be short a player. Not sure if they were able to even get that res off. Most likely not, because you see 56 players in the lobby. So Nestle Pure Life currently dealing with 2 players. But can we just talk about Team Rice Krispie Treats somehow sneaking up the leaderboard and contesting with all of these top teams? And we see the zone. It's going to be a geyser ending, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Very similar to our Lava City ending. A lot of teams going to be in this final zone. Expect maybe 6, 7, 8 teams duking it out over here. And Sentinels already with a fast priority rotation. They've been getting very fortunate with these zones being so close to Sorting Factory, and that's just the power of Sorting Factory. You get such great loot. It's central. You're always getting a beacon, and Sentinels really putting that to use with these fast rotations.
Yeah, Sentinels, though, because of how quickly they have to rotate and unfortunate looting, I guess, coming out from Sorting Factory, which is strangely enough, only walk away with 1 purple armor along with the 2 whites currently on Retzi and Senox here. But they do have the full building on lockdown. They've got all of the barrels out as well, controlling every single entry point into this building for now. So not much should happen here as teams are still looting and making their way on in. So let's go ahead and swap around to see who else we can join on board with. Maybe that Team Razor fight. We'll see exactly what's going on over there, but we'll find out in just a moment.
Oh, sorry, I just punched my mic right there. Let's see what's going on with. I would love to see exactly what's going on with Team Rice Krispie Treats. They're in the back of Geyser, so this is the perfect spot to be in. If it's going to pull back here, there are 3 endings back here. 1 over towards the respawn beacon, and then 2 over towards the left-hand side door. So Rice Krispies really banking that it's going to continue to pull back here. The problem, just like very similar to a lot of different teams that will set up, is you're not really getting a lot of kill opportunities back here. So it's really up to Hill, again, to put a lot of these fences down, own a lot of real estate, but they want to try to make some third-party plays as we see a fight happening. Rocker is going to get multiple knocks. NRG taking it to Flashpoint. Rambo, the last one alive. He does sneak out a kill point as he was trying to hit a fast armor swap, but NRG going to say no. And that was our first rotation team fight that we saw. Very nicely done. They're going to get the respawn right back in there. Nathan, welcome back.
Yeah, and they should be good here. A lot of teams have already probably moved through this area as now the ring is closing. And never mind. Oh, Rocker getting tagged from the choke as we are on board with Team Daltouche controlling the southern choke of Geyser. This is another spot that can be very good for picking up kill points. And finally, that nade, the thermite, will clear the door, but the scan comes out and it looks like players might have backed all the way up to that 5-story building behind them. But they will continue to hold this for the time being. One person has been caught out trying to go for a wide flank here. He's been cracked. It's Lyric to go down. So no Coco Puff squad completely caught out there. We do have the port coming out, though. We'll see if they can try to survive. But oh no, Sung's gone down as well. Excuse me, Ace has gone down as well. There's just going to be one left on that squad. It's going to be Noko as they go for the full send through that port now. Noko tries to make his way on out. He takes the skies with that gravity lift, drops right on top. And Daltouche and company will finish that one off. They'll pick up this additional loot and continue to play this choke.
Yeah, eventually, once that horizon ult goes away. But what a great nade from Daltouche to get rid of the door there inside of this blue trailer. That ended up forcing that player out and then back. And for some reason, Lyric was so advanced from his team, and they're so slow to rotate that they ended up getting gate kept. So Now Noko, after their team fight win, going up against Cooler, going to be sitting there watching Team Daltouche for the rest of game number 5 as we see what CLG is doing. They're locking down one of the chokes. This is very common for not just the geyser zones, but almost every single zone. Both chokes end up taken on each side, but geyser, you end up getting a lot of kills over here, and then all the teams are going to end up filtering towards this choke right here. So this is a very risky play here for CLG.
Yeah, and they have to contend with the Watson traps as well. The fences have been set up, but Madness, he's hitting for the whites. He's hitting for the white armor, now hitting for flesh, and they want to get aggressive off. It's Hambino that goes down first. Lou picks that one up, and there is, of course, some spots in that fence for them to push up, and they get the full team fight win up against Shame Assist, but they have to worry about the third party that could come in. The scans come out now. CLG, I think what I would argue is the stronger of the chokes here. It can net you a lot more kill points. And so they're on the north side of Geyser, continue to play this. They don't need to clear the Watson traps as well, and they'll utilize that interception pylon now, as it looks like it's round 2 for Team Daltouche's tower defense game over here. And we do have the early black hole being used. Don't know if they really found anything, as oh boy, there's a Sola Fide off as Gentrifying is able to take out ZIN, Zach Mazer, and Thirst him now. Both teams just poking and prodding currently here. That does allow Timmy an opportunity to try and push in through this building. There are multiple doors, but they're starting to back them away into a corner that's almost inescapable. They're slowly advancing, though. They do have the option to use the stairs up top. Good damage coming out from Timmy with that R99 as he hits for the 60 on to that purple. Here comes the black hole, but really doesn't get much as the majority of that team have made their way on up. Timmy's taking a lot of damage here, and he's forced back, Tom.
Yeah, this is a very long fight that they have to start getting more aggressive on, but it's impossible because there's so much healing that has to be done. It's a very back and forth fight. Team Timmy most likely wants to be on the roof in this type of situation. Being stuck inside the building is never good, and that's exactly what happens. Sung comes around, gets Bronzy from the side out of nowhere. They're not rocking a Gibraltar, so it's going to be very hard for any type of bubble res. It really comes down to the amount of barrels that end up getting used. Timmy charges up, puts a lot of damage in, takes some in return, and that means Hackies is going to have to fly around and try to find where this player is. But Daltouche getting the knock there onto Timmy. Now it's just Hackies in a 3-on-1 situation. Tosses down a barrel. It gets taken out, and he gets taken out at the same time. Team Daltouche with the armor swaps and back-to-back team fight wins.
That's going to be a lot of kill points now for Team Daltouche. With 2 games left to go, they need these big games. This is the position that they can really utilize to get that from, but I think they might have exhausted all the squad that'll be coming through this this southern choke point at this point, as most teams, the majority of the drop locations on this map are on the north, and so that's where the typical funnel is. So how much more can they pick up? Daltouche having some fun over Timmy's body here. This is one of the most brutal teabags that I've seen in a while.
Yeah, Touche gonna give him the business over there while they're spectating in the screen. Sung with 4 kills overall. That's phenomenal, considering that only 18 players have been taken out. So he's got around a quarter of the kills so far. Now we see what Rockstar's doing. They're locking down this side, and they are not showing any presence. So trying to be super, super sneaky here, which is kind of the opposite of what you typically do when you're playing Watson. But the thought process that we're discussing over towards the geyser side, and Tech always really good at calling where these zones are going to go, so we'll see if it ends up pulling there.
Nestle Pure Life playing the Vault Tunnel just north of Geyser as well, as Ronnie's taking a lot of damage, so they continue to fall back out the back of these barrels. But oh my gosh, the nade spam right on top of Draco's, and he's just holding the line, and it's to the detriment as he will ultimately fall. Huge swing coming up from Ronnie, but Nestle Pure Life now with just 10 HP on Bambino. What? He actually wins that one out? Didn't really get to see it here, as Bambino was considering throwing down, I guess, defensive bombardment on nothing. CLG coming in for that final cleanup. So those kill points going over their way. Bambino is just left to run away with no HP, never got the armor swap, and don't even know if he has heals. We'll see in just a moment. But CLG really finding the time, finding their moments. Back on board with Team Daltouche, and it looks like I was wrong. More teams are still funneling in from the south side, and they're utilizing this position perfectly.
Yeah, unfortunately for Bambino, after that nice team fight win against Na'Vi, CLG is playing backs on the Bloodhounds, so they may end up tracing his footsteps if they want to go and try to figure that one out and then hit him with the scan, and he's going to end up being caught. But we were not expecting this many teams to be rotating out of this Lava City area. This is an extremely late rotation. We're in round 2 already, now we're closing, so there's no chance that they're going to be both in the zone here, but this choke could be very useful for Team Daltouche. We'll see as this zone is about to move exactly how much area they're going to have to work with, and they aren't going to be able to stay on the high ground on this choke. So that is a little bit more difficult, and they're going to end up most likely meeting Team Rockstar on the right-hand side once they make their way down the hill, or they're going to meet resistance inside the actual geyser buildings.
Yeah, before this game, Team Daltouche had 16 points, but we've already picked up 6 more from kill points at the very least now at 22. As we're on board with CLG once again playing the choke here towards the north, as Lou has been laying into players left and right with the Spitfire. Well, he's even got that gold mag, and so as he heals up, it'll just reload for him, gets shot from the right, and he instantly reacts, backing away with the bubble as well. You got a res coming down over at No Name, so that just might be more kill points for CLG. I wonder if that was Nestle Pure Life. I was able to maybe sneak in and get that res. It has to be at this point, as NRG find themselves in a fight to the north side of Sorting Factory here. Bubble has been used along with that defensive bombardment as Nathan now tries to join the rest of his squad to infiltrate into this building. Good spray down, but he gets challenged by the Wraith and has to drop down. Rocker and Sweet haven't been able to get up there. It's Hakulo's Team Razor. Again, fighting up against NRG, chasing after him is Rocker, not hitting anything.
Wow.
Hakulo hits everything, though.
Wow.
And it's Hakulo to win this basically 1v3. CLG, though, up in a fight against Sola Fide. We're trying to advance onto them now, but Designable's taking so much damage. His defensive bombardment has forced back CLG, though, and take a look. What is going on? Team Razor swatting down another squad. They've only lost out on Zara Tricky. It's a 2v1 for Team Razor. Team Liquid goes down. Here comes another team, though. This might just be Sola Fide trying to come in for that third party after they were able to recover after that fight. Hakulo is forced into that queue. They do get the res. No, Zara Tricky goes down now, and Sola Fide are able to turn a bad position into a good one as they push Razor.
What a job by Hakulo, but Solfide gonna answer and respond here. You not want to see the controller boys with a Prowler in their hands. Surprised that he's even wasting the ammo in that one right there, considering how strong it's gonna be for Designful. But heads up play by Solfide. They felt a lot of resistance over towards the choke. They didn't want to deal with that. Designful lives with just a sliver of health, and now they get rewarded with 3 extra kill points. But I would have been just stoked if I was Hakulo after basically almost doing a 3 versus 1. It's going to be Hakulo getting taken out. Speaking of him, now Zanile's going to find that kill. But here's the rotations coming in. Round number 3 is going to be brutal. A lot of Geyser is going to be in, which means that a lot of it's going to be inside of where teams are going to be. You're also going to have a majority of that tunnel in, and that can only house 1 or 2 teams. So all these teams on the outside looking in. One of those is Solafide. Gentrify goes down immediately.
And Results is down as well. It's all up to Designful here, left for his squad. And it was just Team Frex doing a great job of keeping an eye on that south side. Gentrifying ultimately bleeds out. Here's LG as well, playing from the zone, really fighting for these kill points as Sentinels come in. They get the knock onto Frex, and they'll continue to push up. Clarify the next one to fall as well. And Team Sentinels really want to continue to ride that momentum as Designful is able to get some revenge on the Clarify there, but they are still in this for now, albeit as a solo LG backing away from this one. With a minute and 20 seconds left to go, they need to really start considering their rotate here now, as the zone does continue to pull further and further into basically where you called it, Tom, at the beginning of the game.
It's one of the more common endings, but you'll be surprised how unpredictable Geyser can actually be. So one of the teams that is loving this pool was a team that we jumped on board with and is sitting in second place. That's Team Rice Krispies. So they're going to be in the priority position here. as CLG is going to have to fight their way through this tunnel.
Yeah, they don't have to hard commit for this tunnel, but it becomes so difficult to really rotate out of. And really, if you can win out in this fight, you have an incredibly strong position to play out of. From that blast door, Madness has used his port, has taken a lot of damage, might have to be forced back as the bubble is used by Lou as he tries to get aggressive. Bubble answered by Bubble on the other side though, but they get the full heal off. The batteries has been used as they go full turn onto Bambino. So Nestle Pure Life were able to get the res. It's a 1-for-1 exchange as E-Boy and Ronnie come from behind, but Lou takes him out. Now it's down to a 1v1. Dracos versus Blue. Big Boy versus Big Boy. Does Lou have the spray? He does, and he clutches up for CLG, keeping them in the game. And here are the reses as well, just in time as the zone starts closing.
That Gibraltar armor shield, so important in these type of fights. Lou used that to perfection. He was scoped in with the EVA 8, which isn't the ideal situation to be in, but his R301 spray was so good. And then you unfortunately had to go against R301 with a scout, and that just isn't going to play off in that mid-close range type of battle. Team Deltouche with the rotation is going to catch one over towards the side. I believe that's Snipe Down getting the kill right there on the Designful, but Touche gets taken down. The res has to come through, but there's not enough time. There's no portals, obviously. The punches are going to hit, but it's just basically griefing themselves. There's the great black hole coming through, and Team Deltouche is going to bite the dust as we see what TSM is doing in their thought process throughout all of this. CLG, they get taken out by LG, and that is that battle for the very important tunnel that you were talking about, Jamerson. They had to take that fight. There was no other options. Now Team Rockstar finally peeking out.
Yeah, and they were able to get the knock onto Senox. That is huge. Sentinels losing out on one here in the top 5, but Crummy is forced back. They get another knock there onto Retzi, and there's only just one left. We crust up 4 Sentinels here as Snipe Down finds a shot on to Crummy. TSM are looking to take back that first spot position, but in their way, it's 4 squads, albeit 1 damage. Sentinels down to a solo. I don't know if they got a res quite yet. Matt Pick is going to look for that first now. He goes for the swing on to the left. His tech has now gone down. Oh, it's just musical chairs of who survives and who gets res. Imperial Hell gets the knock onto Senox here. And TSM need to clear out their back as they start making their rotation forward. You know that they have a team that they have to contend with coming in from the Vault Tunnel. That's going to be LG. Really, their immediate focus is to their south right now, and Sentinels are finished off. We're down to our top 4 squads. We've got Team Rockstar, we've got TSM, we've got LG, all in the fray here as TSM, with 10 seconds left to go, they still need to devise a plan to get into this ring, and it looks like the call is going to be made. Run to the south, pick up whatever you can, and play on the southeast side of the zone. They even see the EMP being used, Tom.
This is perfect for Team Rice Krispies. They're just sitting inside here, waiting for all these teams to basically dog eat dog, and they're just going to capitalize around the corner. I would love to see more fences coming in for Hill on the inner area of what they're going to do, because you don't really expect a team to go and try to coexist like this. There's just not enough presence right now for Hill, and that's going to be pretty difficult if they get flanked from the other side. The other team is just going to push right in there, and now we see which zone this is going to be. It's going to be directly in front of this building, and Rockstar with just such a good rotation. Now we see where all the rest of these teams are. TSM's over towards the side, LG's making their way over towards that respawn beacon, and this is why I love this zone. We have so many different opportunities right now for all of these teams to fight. TSM would be kind of crazy to go and try to initiate anything. Right now they just need to play on the outside, and then hopefully one of these teams makes a mistake.
Yeah, we have Team Rice Krispies currently in second. TSM 1 point behind them in third. LG's in the mix-up as well, currently in 6th place with 27 points. And so this is very consequential, especially if you're looking at a team like Rice Krispies, who are 11 points behind Sentinels. Sentinels just got knocked out. So this is an opportunity for both Rice Krispies and TSM to try and catch up throughout all of this. For Rice Krispies, though, what is their exit plan? Because eventually they will be forced out. They do have the port on their Wraith right now, as LG are controlling the outsides of their buildings. One of the exits at the very least. Gunning with that gold armor on that Gibraltar, getting good damage off, doing 74. But we do have the Watson generators inside. TSM playing the very far edges of this one, as Reps' arm shield does get cracked. Hal and Reps both taking some damage here, but really nothing critical. So it's just a full reset now. as the zone will start slowly closing in, Tom.
And this is what it's all about. Game number 5 here again. It's 1:30 for this zone to close. Surprised that LG didn't decide to use their defensive bombardment once they saw the bubble that was used over from reps. Their idea is they're not really interested in the kill points. They are trying to get the placement points plus the kill points, which means that they are going to hold on to that to the very last second. Sonya doing the heads up play of getting onto the roof. Meanwhile, Ron is going to check it down below. The way that this is playing out right now, not a lot of pressure on LG. This is looking good for them, but as I say that, that's when Team Rockstar makes their move. LG was ready for it. TSM was looking fairly weak over towards the side, but looks like there's a couple of battles happening over towards the inside of the building. Instead, it was just Rockstar fairly weak. TSM now starting to approach the situation here, and all the teams are going to basically be on top of one another.
Yeah, TSM have a sliver of cover to work off of, which is giving them some nice reprieve from LG, who had that high ground position but were forced off. For now, defensive bombardment has been used at this point, but Rockstar are there to challenge. Tech gets the knock and the thirst onto Rugby, but it's answered back. And at this point, every other team is just loving it. A snipe down gets that last kill onto Sonya. Here comes a black hole as well. It's a double black hole, double singularity. I don't know, duality of man at this point, as Rockstar are just down to Crummy. It's 3 squads remaining. Rice Krispies try to challenge TSM, but they are up top, getting the knock onto Stunny, and they will get the finish off. And Tech will ultimately go down, or his squad will go down. It's TSM taking game number 5, and they should have been able to do enough to steal away that first place position from Team Sentinels.
This is going to be a fun final game. TSM has won 2 games so far. You don't think from the outside looking in, making their way up the hill, that they were going to be able to pull that one off, but just phenomenal plays, great aggression, and TSM takes game number 5.
Yeah, that means we have 1 game left to go, and you're not going to want to miss it. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with game number 6, the final game of our 10K Invitational, right after this.
Okay, so we got Pop-Tart hands. They're not like perfectly on my... You know what, we're gonna fix this one because that looks weird. Perfect. I'm Fat Fruit Ninja, and I play Apex Legends for Team Pop-Tarts. We have the Pop-Tarts hand wrist accessories guaranteed to improve your gameplay. Plus, the sun deflector, why wouldn't you need that?
And they are not focusing on anything else, like their rotation, any teams above them, whatever they're doing next. Ronnie is playing his life like a madman right now.
That's Rat Boy Ronnie. That's what he does so well. Now he's going to continue. We've got to do kind of being the furthest person up there. Now it's just up to Ronnie here. He's going to end up queuing through in a 2 versus 1 situation. May elect to rat it out.
Smoke right now. It is Ronnie, the Rat Legend, back again. Solo Dolo, Mr. Rager coming in.
Dude, right where Hakulo is, they need to drop armors right here and put multiple armor swaps and then take a fight and bait people with the armor swaps. That's the only chance that they have Raid to drop their armors. They're probably just going to try to do a bubble play, which they elect to do. And there's the climb up. All players sitting over towards the top. A great 104 coming in. Multiple nades coming through. I love the shots coming in from Hakulo. Looks like they're doing a great job staying alive. And Team Razor, are you kidding?
And Zeratricky going to get the initial knock. Bubble going to go down. Looks like that's going to be already goes down. Hakulo with the 2x gold barrel stabilizer is absolutely no joke. Laying down about 100 damage before he only takes 125. That player's still down. The rest of the team going to be able to push over here. Expect something big coming in.